PlayStation 3, Sony's black sheep, was originally released in November of 2006 in Japan and in the United States. European and Australian PlayStation fans would have to wait till March of the following year to get their hands on the system. It was one of the most expensive consoles to this date, mainly due to its incorporated Blu-ray disc player that would be Sony's media of choice for their brand new system. It arrived a full year after its main rival, the Xbox 360, but it would offer out of the box a lot more features than Microsoft's second console, like built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 2.0, HDMI, and as said, the Blu-ray disc player, a format that was taking its first steps and going against the HD DVD that brings to mind the battle between Betamax and VHS back in the 80s. As you know, the Betamax format was developed by Sony and released to the market in 1975, and 10 years later, by 1985, the VHS was declared the winner, cause both the format and VHS players were way cheaper than Betamax compatible machines. But let's not forget that the porn industry was also a huge deal around that time, that used this cheaper format since the beginning to reach their specific audience. Over 20 years later, Sony, as one of the major players supporting the Blu-ray disc, would fight with all their strength so that this time around, this brand new HD format would emerge victorious. The PS3 was announced at 2005's E3, and a prototype was shown that would offer 2 HDMI ports, 6 USB and 3 Ethernet connections, along with the awkward boomerang controller. Obviously that all those ports and connections were going to be reduced, so a year later the final design was unveiled, both for the console and its controller, this last one retaining the DualShock look from its older brothers. The 60GB model would cost around $600 and was one of the few that offered a card reader and the ability to natively play PS2 games. It was often considered as a supercomputer that even the US Air Force would pick over 1700 PS3s to create this machine capable of calculating 500 teraflops per second to be able to analyze high-definition satellite imagery. Just like its predecessor that offered out of the box an alternative to basic DVD players, the PS3 would also allow playback of movies in Blu-ray format with up to 1080p Full HD and 7.1 environmental audio, marketing itself as a true alternative to standard Blu-ray disc players that could cost around the same price as Sony's powerful system. Hugely criticized by fans was the use of the same font for the PlayStation 3 lettering, as seen on Sony's own Spider-Man trilogy directed by Sam Raimi and released between 2002 and 2007. And besides that, the original PS3 model would also suffer from overheating, leading to that infamous yellow light of death. The release of the slim model in September of 2009 helped to eliminate those overheating problems, consequently increasing sales. 3 years later, a new revision would arrive, smaller and lighter, with practically half the weight of the original model and known as the Super Slim. As of March of 2016, Sony revealed that the PlayStation 3 sold around 86 million units worldwide, and a year later, by March of 2017, was discontinued.